Welcome to Untested Builds, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Comment below to suggest builds you want to see on the channel, subscribe to be notified whenever we post a new video, and join the Patreon to vote in character polls and fast track your build suggestions. That's what Alpha Tester patron Decaffeinate did when they requested I go over Leone from that anime Akame Ga Kill. In short, she's an assassin and freedom fighter with the strength and abilities of a lion. But, as is now tradition, we'll go over the full background of the character until someone tells me to stop. To skip the spoilers and jump straight to the build, check out the timestamp on the screen right now, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, if you're still here, there honestly isn't a whole lot to go over. It's kind of a short anime, and Leone really isn't the main character anyway, but here we go. The first time we see Leone is when a young but skilled villager enters the capital city in hopes of becoming an officer in the Empire's army. Leone, noticing a fresh face, swoops in and promises to fast-track young Tatsumi's officer status by taking a bribe. After leaving him alone until the bar shuts down, we learn that this is actually one of Leone's more common tactics for fleecing out-of-towners. Cashless and with nowhere to stay, Tatsumi is taken in for the night by the daughter of a noble family. Under the cover of darkness, the family's mansion is attacked by a group of assassins, and to Tatsumi's surprise, Leone is one of them. Confused and grateful for the family's generosity, Tatsumi stands up to the assassins until it is revealed that the nobles actually take part in the vicious torture and slaughter of innocent people, using their wealth and veneer of kindness to lure in victims. Boy, glad I wasn't in the mood for something pleasant. After seeing that the family's most recent victims were the childhood friends Tatsumi disembarked his village alongside, he takes it upon himself to kill the daughter of the noble family himself. Leone, already having evidence of the boy's skill and now seeing his drive towards dispensing justice, suggests that Tatsumi join their band of assassins known as Night Raid. Tatsumi is the main character of this story, and it's through him and his acclamation with the team that we learn that Night Raid works as a band of insurgents working with the revolutionary army, currently gathering strength with the goal of eventually performing a coup against the child emperor and his corrupt advisor Honest. In the meantime, Night Raid focuses their talents gathering intel and eliminating key targets in the capital to weaken the empire before the coup begins in earnest. They accomplish this with the assistance of what are known as, in the English dub, Imperial Arms. Ancient unique weapons from a bygone technological age that run the gamut from traditional weapons with unique enchantments to fully autonomous beings in and of themselves. Most of the members of Night Raid have their own Imperial arms, as do many of their targets. Leone's is called Lionel and takes the form of a belt that once activated alters her appearance and gives her the abilities of a lion, including enhanced senses, strength, and agility. Many, but not all of these weapons also have what is known as a trump card, which is a hidden ability designed to give the user an even greater edge in battle. Lionel's trump card, once activated, accelerates Leone's healing factor to supernatural levels, going so far as allowing her to reattach a severed limb and allowing her to recover from being fully paralyzed. When the team is tasked with breaking up a ring of drug dealers and sex traffickers operating out of a temple, Tatsumi learns Leone's upbringing as a child in the slums of the capital, working in massage parlors to survive, until she was eventually scouted by the revolutionary army after she was seen saving a group of children from being abused by nobles. A lot of stuff happens. Some Night Raid members die, Tatsumi gets his own Imperial arms, the Empire creates their own anti-Night Raid elite team called the Jaegers, their base gets compromised, new members get recruited. What I'm saying is, Leone kind of becomes a bit of a background character for a little while, and you should just watch the anime. It's actually a pretty fun ride despite the overall dark tone of the show. Eventually, the day we have been working towards arrives, and while the army begins their assaults on the capital, Tatsumi, Leone, and the others infiltrate the palace to assassinate the Emperor's advisor, Honest. When the boy reveals the gigantic Imperial arms that can only be operated by a member of the royal family, Leone breaks from the group in pursuit of Honest, while Tatsumi confronts what is essentially a Gundam. Once Leone corners Honest, he reveals his own Imperial arms, a ring with the ability to destroy other Imperial arms. Leone, with a broken Lionel, is still able to overcome Honest and end him, but takes several gunshots to the stomach in the process. With the last of her strength, Leone is able to completely fuse with the remains of Lionel, and while she can't heal her wounds completely, she is able to suppress the injury long enough to take part in the final celebrations of the successful rebellion. Deciding that she would allow herself to die on her own terms, she wanders the city before returning to the bar where she met Tatsumi and finally succumbing to her injuries with a smile on her face. So, with the character backstory out of the way, let's go over the goals we have for the build. Leone, even before gaining her Imperial arms, was a competent freedom fighter and intelligence agent, so we'll need training in every skill we might need to perform that task for Night Raid. Second, we need to replicate Lionel, Leone's Imperial arms that gives her the abilities of a lion. Strength, speed, agility, and heightened senses. And last, we'll need Leone's trump card, giving us the ability to heal ourselves at a moment's notice. We'll kick this off as a human. The setting is pretty fantastical, but there aren't any other humanoid races around, at least not on screen. Skilled humans gain 2 free ability boosts while taking Constitution and Strength. We also get to choose a skill to gain training in and at level 5 automatically become an expert. We'll choose Survival since it'd be a good skill to fall back on if your base of operations ever got compromised or something. We'll take the Street Urchin background for boosted dexterity and strength, training in thievery, and the pickpocket feat for free, allowing us to steal or palm an object that is closely guarded by taking a -5 penalty. For our ancestry feat, natural skill gives us even more training. We select 2 skills and gain the trained proficiency in them immediately. Acrobatics and society are probably pretty necessary growing up in a big city with only yourself to rely on. We're going to lock in as a barbarian for the 2nd week in a row, which is great for you because you get to see how 2 different barbarians can be, and it's great for me because I get to reuse a bunch of last week's scripts. Level 1 barbarians gain a boost to strength and the rage ability. We can spend an action to enter a frenzy that lasts for a minute, granting us 2 additional damage with melee and unarmed attacks, and temporary hit points equal to our level, plus our constitution modifier. But at a cost, we take a -1 penalty to AC, and we can't use actions that have the concentrate trait, except for the seek action. We also choose an instinct to act as the source of our rage. Animal instinct barbarians take on the traits of their chosen beast, gaining a corresponding unarmed attack whenever they rage. While the cat does give us the claws and fangs Leone sports when she activates Lionel, she tends to use her fist to deliver powerful punches. So we're actually choosing the ape for a 1d10 bludgeoning fist with the grapple trait. We'll take the acute vision class feat for some animal eyes. Now while raging we gain dark vision in addition to our other rage benefits. For our other skill training we'll grab deception, performance, and stealth. And for our ability boost we'll increase strength, dexterity, constitution, and charisma. At level 2, we'll pick up Acute Scent to gain an imprecise scent up to 30 feet while our rage is active. Probably starting to notice a pattern here with these feat choices. We'll take the Catfall feat for more than just the pun factor. With this, we treat falls as 10 feet shorter for the purposes of determining fall damage, and as our acrobatics proficiency increases, eventually we'll no longer take fall damage at all. Level 3 barbarians gain deny advantage, so we're no longer flat-footed to hidden, undetected, or flanking creatures our level or lower, or to creatures our level or lower using surprise attack. We'll use our skill increase for expert athletics. The fast recovery feat allows us to recover twice as many hit points and reduce our fatigued condition faster from resting. We also decrease the value of poison or disease conditions whenever we succeed on their respective fortitude saves. The Streetwise feat lets us use our society modifier instead of diplomacy to gather information or recall knowledge concerning a particular area you're familiar in. The Supernatural Senses class feat gives us even more perceptive bonuses. While raging, if we target a concealed or hidden creature, we reduce the DC of the flat check to 3 for a concealed target and 9 for a hidden one. Level 5 barbarians gain brutality for expert proficiency in simple and martial weapons as well as unarmed attacks. We also apply the critical specializations of our weapons while raging, meaning targets will have to pass a fortitude save or be slowed 1 until the end of our next turn. We'll use our ability boost for strength, dexterity, constitution, and charisma, take our skill increase for stealth, and take the natural ambition ancestry feat for an extra level 1 barbarian feat. Feels kind of weird being a level 5 martial with no special combat abilities. Sudden charge is a flourish that allows us to stride twice and attack an enemy in reach. Since this is a 2-action ability, we're basically getting an action for free every turn. Animal skin helps keep us in the fight a little longer. We increase our unarmored defense proficiency to expert permanently, and whenever we rage, we gain a +2 item bonus to AC, essentially turning our -1 penalty from rage into a +1 bonus. But it's not all positives. This does give us a new dexterity cap of +3 while raging as well. But it doesn't come with the skill check penalty we'd normally take for an equivalent armor set, which is good because we're going to use our acrobatics a lot in a few levels. For now, the quick jump feat allows us to perform a long or high jump in 1 action instead of 2. If we do, we don't stride beforehand and we don't fail for not striding. Level 7 barbarians gain Juggernaut for master fortitude saves and critical success results on regular successes. Weapon specialization gives us an extra 2 damage on our unarmed strikes and increases the rage bonus damage from 2 to 5 and increases our ape unarmed strikes from D10s to D12s. We'll use our skill increase for master athletics for better jumping and grapples, and take the Titan Wrestler feat so we can grapple, disarm, trip, or shove creatures up to 2 sizes larger than us. Never know when an S-class danger beast will show up. At level 8, we'll get Agile with the Acrobat dedication, immediately giving us Master Acrobatics proficiency and raising us to Legendary once we are level 15. Now, whenever we attempt to tumble through action, we don't treat the enemy square we are attempting to pass through as difficult terrain. The Kip Up feat allows us to stand as a free action without triggering reactions. Level 9 barbarians gain Raging Resistance, granting us piercing and slashing damage equal to 3 plus our Constitution modifier while we're raging. Lightning Reflexes increases our reflex saves to expert. We'll use our skill increase for Master Stealth proficiency Can you really call yourself a Pathfinder human if you don't take the multi-talented feat at level 9? Probably, but it's almost always the best ancestry feat to grab once available, since it lets us take a multi-class dedication feat even if we haven't finished a previous dedication. The champion dedication gives us training in heavy armor that we'll never use, training in religion, and training in our deity's divine skill. We're following Caden Kalian since we're all about drinking, fighting, and freedom. His divine skill of athletics is something we're already a master in, so we'll grab intimidation training instead. We also choose a divine cause, and the Liberator cause fits in just as well with the whole freedom fighter thing we have going on. At level 10, we use our ability boost to increase our strength, dexterity, constitution, and charisma. Someone with heightened senses like Leone is probably pretty good at making sure she isn't noticed by others with similar abilities. The foil senses feat allows us to automatically take into account special senses when attempting to hide, avoid notice, or sneak. We'll take some basic devotion to gain a first or second level champion feat. Deity's Domain gives us the initial focus spell of one of our Deity's Domains. We'll take Caden's Might Domain for the Athletic Rush focus spell. For one round, we gain a plus 10 foot status bonus to speed and a plus 2 status bonus to athletics checks. Also, as part of casting this spell, we can use a stride, leap, climb, or swim action. The best part of this is that we can even use this while raging since it's a somatic only spell. Level 11 Barbarians gain Mighty Rage, allowing us to use a rage action as a free action when we activate our rage. When we do this, we can instead spend an action to perform a 2-action rage ability instead. We'll use our skill increase for Expert Thievery and grab the Fleet feat to increase our speed by an additional 5 feet. We'll put that extra 5 feet to good use with the Swift Sneak feat to sneak at our full speed, and also sneak at our full speed using other movement types if we have access to them. The Dodge Away Acrobat feat gives us a decent use for our reaction every turn. As long as we're aware of an attack and aren't flat-footed, we can gain a +1 circumstance bonus to AC as a reaction, and if that attack misses, we can step 10 feet during this reaction also. Level 13 Barbarians gain Weapon Fury for master proficiency in simple and martial weapons as well as unarmed strikes. This also increases our weapon specialization damage from 2 to 3. Medium Armor Expertise doesn't do much for us since we're already an expert in unarmored defense, and Greater Juggernaut gives us legendary Fortitude saves, regular fails and critical fails, and when we fail a Fortitude save that would deal damage, we only take half the damage instead. We also increase our AC bonus from Animal Skin to +3 instead of +2. We'll use our skill increase for Expert Deception and grab the Bounce Back feat, so once per day when we recover from dying, we don't increase our wounded condition from recovering like normal. Healing Touch finally gives us our trump card. The Lay on Hands focus spell allows us to restore 42 hit points in a single action. What's more is this is another somatic only spell, and it's also rage friendly. But this is actually better than Lionel's ability because we can also use this to heal an ally, and they gain an AC bonus to go along with it. We can also use this to damage an undead creature, dealing 7d6 positive damage and giving them an AC penalty for a round. Rapid Mantle allows us to pull ourselves onto a surface immediately when we grab an edge. But the real bonus here is that we can grab an edge using our athletic skill rather than our reflex proficiency, since barbarians have pretty bad reflex saves in general. And we might end up using this a lot with all the jumping around we do. Level 15 Barbarians gain Indomitable Will for master will saves, and critical success results on regular successes. Greater Weapon Specialization increases the bonus damage we receive from weapon specialization from 3 to 6. We also increase our bonus rage damage from 5 to 12. We use our ability boost to increase our strength, dexterity, constitution, and charisma, and we use our skill increase for legendary athletics. Considering Leone makes it the last episode of an anime that literally has kill in the title, she more than earns the Die Hard feat. She got a revolver unloaded into her stomach and still went out for a drink, so dying at dying 5 rather than dying 4 seems kinda small in comparison. The Cloud Jump feat gives us that feline mobility, allowing us to use our long jump calculation when attempting a high jump and tripling our long jump distance. We use Advanced Devotion to take another domain spell. We'll tap back into Caden's Might Domain for Enduring Might. Yet another somatic only spell. This one gives us resistance equal to 8 plus our strength modifier to all damage of an incoming attack or an effect as a reaction. Of course, we're really here to max out our focus pool for as many lay on hands as possible, but this is actually pretty good and can end up negating way more damage than you can heal in specific situations. Level 17 Barbarians gain Quick Rage, allowing us to rage again after only a round instead of waiting a full minute. Heightened Senses increases our perception proficiency to master. We'll pick up Legendary Stealth with our skill increase. For our Ancestry feat, Advanced General Training allows us to pick a 7th level or lower general feat instead. Numb to Death lets us double up on our ability to recover by once per day, increasing any hit points we gain while dying by an amount equal to our level. We also don't gain the Wounded condition or increase its value when we use this as well. At level 18, we'll finally take another Barbarian feat, Vicious Evisceration allows us to maim an enemy with a melee strike. If we hit and deal damage, the target becomes drained 1 or drained 2 on a crit. Legendary Sneak allows us to sneak or hide without cover or concealment, and whenever we are using an exploration tactic other than avoiding notice, we also gain the benefits of avoiding notice when doing so. Level 19 Barbarians gain Devastator, increasing our Barbarian class DC to Master and allowing our strikes to ignore 10 points of resistance to physical damage. Armor of Fury increases our proficiency rank for light and medium armor as well as unarmored defense to Master. We'll use our skill increase for Master Thievery proficiency, and we'll take the Canny Acumen feat to give ourselves Master proficiency in Reflex saves. At level 20, we'll use our ability boost to increase our Strength, Dexterity, Constitution, and Wisdom. The Quick Climber feat gives us a climb speed equal to our movement speed since we have Legendary Athletics. For our Capstone feat, we're dipping back in a champion for Devoted Focus. So now when we refocus, we recover 2 focus points instead of 1 for even more heals. Now that we're level 20, let's examine the pros and cons of the build. For starters, you're a beast in combat, literally, throwing D12s around with those insane barbarian bonuses to back it up, and the potential to dole out our conditions on hit is the biggest draw here. But you're also going to stay in the fight for a really long time. Most barbarians need a pocket healer to manage their big health pools and stay close to the enemy's face while taking damage with their relatively low AC. But with your bob and weave combat style, mitigated AC penalty along with being able to just heal yourself without interrupting your rage frees up the casters in the party to actually provide utility and damage. And third, you're basically like a backup rogue. With high stealth and thievery skills, you won't be a hindrance when the party needs you for an infiltration or reconnaissance mission. For cons, Acute Scent and Supernatural Senses are kind of niche abilities. If your GM isn't throwing the right kind of problems at your party, these feats will go unused pretty often. We did invest pretty heavily in Charisma to go with our friendly demeanor and intimidation abilities when we need them, but we really aren't going to be much used in social encounters. A con on paper, but pretty accurate since Leone really wasn't the face of Night Raid either. Also, like most barbarians, we just get really weak when we aren't raging, and relying on animal skin for our AC isn't giving us any favors here either. Actually, losing AC and falling back on 1d4 unarmed attacks is laughable at later levels. So while you can't really don armor mid-combat, at least bring another weapon with you so you can actually fight if you find yourself suddenly without your rage. Hey, if you're still here enjoying what you see, why not subscribe so you get notified whenever we post a new video? If you're looking for more anime character builds, you can check out the playlist on the screen now for more. And if you're feeling really generous and you want to help me make builds for you, consider joining the Patreon like these lovely people. Their support goes a long way towards improving the channel and every bit helps. Link is in the description. With that, enjoy the rest of your week, play more Pathfinder, and test these builds out with your friends.